Hello friends, welcome to Echo After, my YouTube channel. I am here again with a new topic as I had promised about mathematics for economics. To tell you a brief history about this series, one of my dear friend, Mr. Dr. Guru Prasad, he suggested me to have my own YouTube channel. So on his advice, I started my YouTube channel Echo After, and after seeing few of the videos, another dear friend of mine, Mr. Zubair Mujawar, he advised me to make a series on mathematics, which is a much more essential topic for our economic students. So, keeping his words and taking his advice very seriously, I have come up with mathematics for economics. So, from this lecture onwards, we are going to have a series, multiple lectures on various topics of mathematics which is used in economics. So, without wasting time, let us move on for understanding the first topic, and that is rules of exponents or exponents in mathematics, which is applied in economics. So without wasting time, let us move to the slides.
Hello my dear friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Echo After. As I had promised, in my today's series of Understanding Economics with After, I have come with Mathematics for Economics. Yes, Mathematics for Economics. Oh God, Mathematics for Economics. Myself, Aftab Bhai. Students, normally when you take economics as your optional subject or your major subject, many times you will not be aware about the main soul of economics, that is mathematics. One point to clarify you all is we are not going to learn mathematics to become a mathematician. Here what I am trying to do is I am trying to make a sincere effort for us to understand few concepts in mathematics that is required to understand economics. I am not going to teach mathematics, I am going to teach economics where we will be making use of some mathematical concepts. So don't worry about the mathematical part. Normally undergraduate students, they opt economics because of their liking towards economics. They feel that economics is interesting and they want to make a career in economics. But normally in our colleges, if you see, the students opt for arts because they are shy towards economics, towards mathematics. And in economics, when they come across mathematics, they lose the interest in economics. So I'm trying to make an effort that the liking will be intact and the fear of mathematics will not be there. So here, students who say mathematics is interesting, is boring, mathematics is very tough and all those things accepted. But this thing should not be because of the fear of mathematics. So here we will start with mathematics for economics. If you see, whenever you opt for economics as your major subject or your optional subject, it is because I love economics. Most of the students take up economics because they like economics. And once they enroll the economics course, there is a big word that comes, and that is but. Why but? This but comes because of mathematical economics. So friends, I am trying to make a sincere effort where I'll see to it that we don't suffer with this but. This but, I want to remove it. I want to be the bridge. I want to be the bridge between your love for economics and your mathematical economics. So first thing is the fear of mathematics is to be removed. There is a quote which says mathematics brought rigor to economics. Unfortunately, it also brought mortis. Friends, these two words, rigor and mortis, normally it comes under medical terminology where they say shivers and death. So firstly, mathematics brought shivers to economics, the fear towards economics, and unfortunately it also brought death to economics. This is the attitude. So most of the theoretical economists, they are of the opinion that mathematics is not important for economics. But if you look into most of the textbooks, especially microeconomics textbook of all the foreign authors or managerial economics or business economics textbooks, you see the first chapter is devoted for preliminary mathematics. And this quote was given by Robert L. Heilbronner. So according to him, mathematics brought rigor, shivers to economics. Unfortunately, it also brought death to economics. So this is the perception of most of the people towards mathematical economics. So I'm just trying to bring life to economics by understanding mathematics. So what is mathematics? Friends, mathematics is geometry, probability, algebra, statistics, and calculus. So here, if you see here, in mathematics, this part we are least interested. Will not be making use of geometry. Probability and statistics is required to us, but it is required after completion of the course only for the purpose of research. So you need to know statistics, you need to know probability. About this series I'll think about after completing my mathematics series. So here friends, statistics is also important, probability is also important, but remember, it is not important to understand economics. It is important to do the research in economics after the completion of your economics course. And then comes algebra. So we need algebra, and the most important part we need is calculus. So this is the main part which we'll be focusing on. So calculus is required for us. So as we move ahead, you will understand geometry is not required, statistics and probability for research. Algebra, we require matrices and determinants in algebra. That will not be taking up now, it will be the last part. So our main area will be calculus. So that is why I said mathematics is magic. What is mathematics? Mathematics is this magic. This is what is mathematics. So we'll be applying this magic in economics. So which books I have referred for understanding mathematics in economics? So friends, I have referred Mathematical Analysis for Economists, which is authored by R.G.D. Allen. Then the next book that I have referred is by Edward Dowling, Introduction to Mathematical Economics. And one more book I have referred is Essential Mathematics for Economics and Businesses, and that is by Bradley and Bradley. It is revised by Teresa Bradley. So these are the three books which I'll be concentrating on. Apart from this, I'll be referring ICFAI textbooks or workbook to solve the problems where that comes under mathematics, economics and mathematics. So these are the three main books for reference. Now, what is the flow of contents, friends? First we'll be understanding about mathematical preliminaries. So under this we'll try to understand what are exponential rules, what are equations, linear equations and quadratic equations. Then we'll be understanding about simultaneous equations, then functions and a diagrammatic representation, which is very important. After that we'll be entering into calculus. In calculus we'll be understanding about what are limits, what are derivatives and what are the various rules of derivatives, and lastly we'll be understanding about multivariable functions, and also we'll be seeing partial differentiation and a bits of integration. And lastly we'll be exposing ourselves to linear algebra. In linear algebra we need to know it because we need to understand matrices and determinants. So this is the flow of contents, and this is going to be time consuming flow of contents. It's not going to be half an hour, 10 minutes. It's going to be a long series. So I'll be preparing various videos on this mathematical economics. So moving ahead. So let us start with what are exponents. So friends, exponents, given n a positive integer, x raised to n signifies that x is multiplied by itself n times. This is the problem most of the students face with mathematics. It's very tough to understand the meaning or the definition of a particular concept, but once when you understand the example, you will come to know. So here what it is, n a positive integer, x raised to n signifies that x is multiplied by itself n times. Matlab, here x is referred to as the base and n is termed as exponent. So this is what we are trying to understand, raised to. So x raised to n, if x is the base, that raised to n is the exponent. So by convention, exponent of 1 is not expressed. So what does it mean by convention? By normally whenever we write any numbers, we don't write 5 raised to 1 is equal to 5, or 3 raised to 1 is equal to 3. We don't write this thing. What here, it's very simple. If you see here, 3 raised to 1 is equal to 3. So there is no need for us to write this exponent 1. So by convention, we don't write it. It is understood that 3 raised to 1 is 3. That is what. And lastly, by definition, any non-zero number or variable raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. That is, x raised to 0 is always equal to 1. You can say 3 raised to 0 is equal to 1, 5 raised to 0 is equal to 1, 100 raised to 0. So any x number it can be. If it is raised to 0, it's always going to be equal to 1. So these are the main points with regard to exponents. So friends, going ahead, 0 raised to 0 is undefined. So in mathematics, there is no answer for what is 0 raised to 0. If x is 0 and the exponent is also 0, the answer is not defined. It is undefined. So these are the basics of exponents. So to revise, the first point, given n a positive integer, x raised to n signifies that x is multiplied by itself n times. So here, when we are speaking about n times, when we are speaking about x raised to n times, it is this. So if I say 2 raised to 2, it means x is 2 and n is 2. So 2 into 2, it is 2 times 2 square. Similarly, if I say 3 raised to 4, here the exponent is 4, so it will be x is multiplied by itself n times, that is 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This 4 is what is n times. So these are the basics of exponents. I hope you are understanding. The first critical thing that comes under preliminaries of mathematics is exponents. Moving ahead, friends, rules of exponents.